But first, tech titan Alexis Ohanian. He saw the internet's future when he co-founded Reddit. Now he sees an even bigger opportunity, including a new women's track and field league. Explain the league to people. How's this going to work?
So we're modeling this inspired a lot by NCAA track and field. So there's a point system. So imagine your favorite runners in the world. Sha'Carri Richardson could now finally be competing on a team with Tara Davis Woodhull. One is a sprinter, the other one's a long jumper. But by having a team-based track and field meet, you're going to have all those events in probably 3 cities next year. I won't commit to how many. New York is our home base. We're obviously going to take care of New York City again next year. But so imagine a few different locations, Friday nights, under the lights, and having this team-based model so that your athletes are not just competing for themselves, they're also competing for a big team prize at the end. And so just the same way you might root for Lewis Hamilton, but at the same time want to see Ferrari win the cup, we'll have the same concept. You'll have you'll be wearing a Sha'Carri Richardson jersey or shirt for the first time ever, because she'll actually have a team and a number emblazoned on her back that you can rep as a fan. And you'll be cheering for her individually, but also for her team and the points. So every runner, every jump has something at stake.
And will there be individual owners of each team?
At some point. We are more than likely incubating the first batch ourselves. The reason why, we've now, through Angel City, we've obviously shown success. We also, I bought and started the first team in Tigers TGL, this team golf league. LA Golf Club. We've had tremendous success there too. And so our mindset is, look, we know better than, frankly, anyone how to launch these emerging teams, how to tell their stories, how to do that content. So we're going to give them all a running start so that when we do bring in outside owners, they have something that's got a brand and identity and some motion.
You make investments, and then you have your own venture firm that makes investments. But your wife, Serena Williams, we said that in this broadcast, we probably should mention that, also makes investments. How do you figure out which ones are yours and which ones are hers and which ones are together?
We keep it very church and state. And that's by design. And also, so I'm one of the largest, I think I am the largest LP in 776. So I've invested over 9 figures in my own funds. So when I'm investing through 776, it's me. It's my kids' money as much as it is institutional investors. And we keep it, my wife and I, very church and state. Every now and then, it's funny, all of my sports investments thus far, I have brought my wife into vis-a-vis like, hey, we're married and, this is the thing I'm investing in. So obviously, you're getting half of the upside that I am.
Right.
But it wasn't until she made the investment in the Toronto Tempo. That was actually her first investment in women's sports, and that was all her, and it was awesome to see.
Your wife is the greatest women's tennis player of all time, but I noticed no investment in pickleball, no investment in padel, or is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, paddle. It's either padel or paddle, depending on how fancy. I think it's sort of an indictment of the state of investing in women's sports in 2020, where I could say, listen, women's soccer is the most popular thing in the United States of America. More Americans probably think of soccer as a sport for women than men, because the men are so bad and the women are so great. So here you have an asset that's already proven. It's the most popular sport in the world, and the American women are the best, have been the best for decades. You don't need to know anything about the sport, but the American women are awesome, and it is the most popular sport in the world. This is not a hard sell. And meanwhile, I'm hearing these pitches from people that are like, okay, and it's a wiffle ball with a thing that goes like this, and anyone can play it, which is great for a hobby. I have yet to see a pickleball highlight go viral in my feed. This is what I said to folks. I'm like, guys, the free market of attention has not said this is a sport I need to tune into, because I have yet to see one of these damn things go viral.
Right.
Because for all the reasons why it's an amazing hobby and exercise, makes it so challenging as a professional sport, because it doesn't have that aspirational energy to it.
By and large, the TV ratings for the big sports continue to go up, whether it's NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball. Like there was a dip around COVID, and more or less they've all kind of bounced back here. Yeah. And now you see these emerging sports leagues, which you're investing in. And as part of the nature of being emergent, those ratings go up. But is there a world where there's just too many of these things and people do not have enough time? And are you concerned with that you may just hit the wall at some point and then the air comes out?
So in women's sports in particular, there is still a massive growth opportunity ahead, because we are just starting to see what happens when these leagues and these teams and these athletes are getting the investment of resources, of exposure, of dollars. Like there's still room to grow. Now, yes, in the general media landscape, everyone still only has 24 hours in the day. So we're all competing for attention. And you're already seeing, the younger generation sports fan is much more likely to be a fan of these emerging leagues, and disproportionately those leagues are mostly women, but emerging leagues. And that new fan consumes sports very differently than you and I, right? I had a religious observance every Sunday with my father of sitting in front of the TV watching not just the Commanders play, but probably the 4 o'clock game and then the Sunday night game, right? That day was blocked and I watched live broadcast the entire time. This new generation of fan, much more fickle and much more on demand. And so the likelihood of them spending 2.5 hours to sit in front of a TV for a full game, full match, full meet is much less likely. And so you've got to tell the story where they are in the bite-sized pizzas that they're consuming. That's why it's social first. That's why we're building the relationship between our athletes and these players every second they're not actually racing, so people feel that connection and they care even more. And so, yes, there is at some point, you will run into people having too many options. But I would say, look, we're in an environment right now, thanks to AI, where the proliferation of content is about to reach a fever pitch. And I'm talking about, what Hollywood traditionally did, television traditionally did. Storytelling and the tools to do it at scale in a high quality way are democratizing every day. And so we will be bombarded by AI generated content that's actually going to look really good, okay? And this is part of my bigger bet on sports, is that it's the only pillar of entertainment that is durable. It's the anti-AI bet, because no matter how great robots get, no one will pay money to watch robots play soccer. Like maybe once for the novelty. Sport matters because it's humans doing it. And so every other form of entertainment that's competing for attention is going to have a much harder time and be much more diluted and have much more of a challenge. There'll still be superstars, there'll still be blockbusters, but it'll look very different.